Interesting. Rhaegar is still missing on both sides. So is Zagara. One of the most prominent heroes in the current meta just aren't present. I would assume that either Rhaegar or Zagara might get picked up on the side of 5th up. Even though they've already got a great solo laner in the face of Troll, that Zagara is still so good to deny it to your opponents. Or maybe just ban it out in the second phase of the bans. No, it's actually going to be an Uther picked up on the side of 5th up.
I mean, Uther's still good. Like, well, I say good. He's still solid. He still just does Uther things. But yeah, we're still missing Rhaegar. Like, what? To Candyland... I mean, Candyland, do they want to take it? They've got an off support already. So do they go a double off support? I mean, they're hovering over the ETC ban. They're going to lock that in. Not too sure as to why they'd lock out an ETC ban. I suppose take away a tank they don't want to play against. But 5th up, they've still got... Obviously, Johanna, Stitches, Muradin to choose from. Absolutely no problem here. So
and Diablo too, yeah.
Yeah, and Diablo. I forgot about him. So 5th up, there we go. Ban out the Rhaegar.
Ban out the Rhaegar. I'm actually so amazed that it got through the draft. I would definitely see Candyland wanting to play with an ETC, so that's a bit of a strange ban. They've already got the lockdown potential with Tyrande, so any tank like Muradin or Diablo would just be great for them. I would assume they would probably pick up a Diablo here, since giving it to 5th up would probably not be the best idea. That Sundering Apocalypse combo is just way too strong, and Uther is a great support to keep up a solo tank Diablo, so I can see that.
Yeah, yeah, and also to, keep up Thrall. I mean, Uther focusing on the Diablo is great, but if Thrall goes in with the Divine Shield, he already does ridiculous stuff, amounts of damage to the backline without it. Put it on him, and I mean, we've seen what happens.
Thrall doesn't really need any sort of heals, he just needs the Divine Shield and he can heal himself all he wants. Just a really great hero in general. Tyro gonna get picked up. I can definitely understand the choice here. I mean, Holy Ground is great for stealing bosses. So is Falstad, so I assume their game plan is gonna be steal as many bosses as possible. Greymane does a lot of damage. I would probably see Candyland go for a second tank at some point, or a Tassadar. Just because Tyro as a solo tank is not exactly the best. On the other side, 5th up, gonna go for a solid tank, gonna go for a Johanna, could go for a second tank here, even though Johanna is already way too solid. And could go into another ranged assassin. They've already got their front line with Johanna and Troll. Could go for something like a Vala. Liming is already banned out, Falstad is already taken, Kel'Thas is banned, so the top mages and damage dealers have already been taken out.
Yeah, I mean, Zagara still hasn't been touched. I mean, you've said that earlier. She just... I think she'd be a great pickup for 5th up here.
And it's also going to give them some boss stealing potential. You just more on the boss cap points, and you should be good. They could go for Raynor, Vala, Zagara. Either one of those is going to do a lot of work for them. Or, as I said, a second tank. Yeah, it's going to be a Vala. It's going to be a ranged assassin. And Candyland, I would assume either a second tank or a Tassadar, or even Karazim. Tassadar, Karazim, second tank would do a lot of work for them right here.
Yeah, so as you say, you're either looking for Karazim, who works really well with an off support. You're either searching for that other off support, or Tyrael, he's not the best solo tank. It makes a lot of sense. I feel like a Stitches would be nice here for them. Just like isolate somebody. You've got Falstad's burst damage potential plus Greymane to jump on top. Also with a Tyrael, you can we could absolutely see like Sanctification with Putrid Bile, slow everyone down, have the Greymane jump in and just not care because he will not die in Sanctification.
Yeah, that could definitely be their plan, but yeah, it is going to be the Diablo instead of the Stitches. Diablo plus Tyrande, a combo that a lot of you must remember from last patch. I'm sure that a lot of you got frustrated from it. Yeah, it still works great, even though Tyrande got tuned down a little bit. Diablo also got his damage tuned down a little bit on his Firestorm, but he's still really great tank, especially to go along with something like a Tyrael. Tyrael is going to provide him with extra support. Diablo is one of those tanks that can't really get out, so Sanctification can definitely help him out a lot as well. So yeah, looking like a solid draft on both sides. The only hero that I'm missing right now is Zagara. Would have definitely loved to see that
Yeah,
hero.
just not even touched at all. She is ridiculous. There's barely any specialist that kind of competes with her as far as hero damage, and she
No,
outlanes most people. Just she does.
yeah. Maybe Tro or Chen can sort of stand up to her, but that's about it. And yeah, I mean, not really a solo laner on the side of Candyland here. Something to go up against Tro, which is probably gonna go on the bottom lane here. Greymane can do an alright job, but Tro with those chain lightnings can just poke away at his enemy in the bottom lane and just keep him at bay. Could also see a full stat down there due to his mount ability. He can just take the damage, go back, heal up, and then just fly back down to the bottom lane. So there's that possibility.
Yeah. I mean, you've kind of said it all. You've covered everything. But I like the Diablo pick. I do. I mean, I'm not too sure how it works well with the Greymane, but it works very well with the Tyrande, and that damage amp is just gonna really push forward how prominent this Greymane is going to be. I mean, we've been seeing him a lot more recently, and NA are definitely favouring him and Lunara, like, very frequently. So we'll see how it goes.
I forgot about Lunara. Fifth up actually could have picked up a Lunara and could have worked pretty well for them. Like, the only problem with Lunara would have been possibly Diablo engaging way too hard on her, along with the Tyro, of course. And yeah, I mean, Tyro is definitely gonna go for Sanctification. Judgment is out of the question. There was a Judgment pickup about maybe a month ago at Heroes Rising, and it actually turned out to be a misclick on the side of one of the players. Haven't seen it since then. Haven't even seen it in scrims. Nobody really likes the talent. Just Sanctification is so strong.
Yeah, I mean, I think we had a Judgment pickup. I want to say last week. I had it semi-recently. It was either in this tournament or in my EU league that I'm running. But yeah, it worked out pretty well. As you say, like, it was a mispick. Did it work out well with the mispick? Sorry, with the mispick, or was it terrible? No, it wasn't good. It's been kind of mixed recently because there's just... It's really good for locking somebody down, but before Judgment was used, because there wasn't so much burst, now you don't need that hard initiation, because if you have that, your team needs to either immediately follow it up, or the healing's going to be enough, or they're just going to counterburst you down. And then Tyrael turns into a mobile pufferfish, and he's kind of useless. Yeah,
I saw someone pick up. I can't actually recall the name of the talent. There's a talent for Tyrael at level 1 which gives his opponents, not his opponents.
His allies a 50% life shield. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen that picked up twice, and it worked out okay for one team fight on Sky Temple during a boss, and that was it.
Yeah, not exactly the best. I mean, Regeneration Master, especially when you're going with a solo healer, Tyrande is just a must-have. Maybe not amplified healing, since you're probably going to be relying on your mobility, your shields. I mean, yes, Shadowstock and Shadowstock can just benefit you if you have amplified healing quite a bit. But yeah, you could also go into something else like Vampiric Assault, maybe combine that with Searing Attacks at level 7, and you're gonna have enough self-sustained. You don't really need Tyrande, since she's probably gonna be focusing on the more important targets like Greymane, Falstad. Just try to keep those carries alive in the backline.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just having a quick look here. So, who do you think will win then? Purely based on the lineups, not saying you've seen either teams or any of the players before. Purely based on lineups, who do you think is going to win?
I don't know. It's really difficult to say. Candyland has a lot of boss steal potential, and if this goes to the way late game, one of those boss steals could just decide the game straight up. On the other hand, Fifth Up just has a better team composition. They just have a better team composition. They can just stick around, just poke with Troll, Jaina, Vala. I'm pretty sure that Vala is gonna go for actually whatever build, unless she goes for auto attack, which I don't see happening. Whichever build Vala goes for, she's gonna be able to poke so much. Jaina could go into an Iceland's build, just poke around the tributes, throw with his chain lightnings, obviously. Johanna, with her blind, Uther could also poke around if he feels too brave. They just have a lot of control.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. A huge amount of control coming out from 5th up. The slows from Jaina as well, keeping Johanna and Thrall on their targets. I think that's going to be crucial. But come on, decision. Who do you think?
Unless it comes down to a really late game boss deal, I have to give it to 5th up.
Okay, cool. So I'm actually a big fan of Diablo Tyrande, and I think Greymane can really shine through. So I'm going to go with Candyland. I think the Falstad, if played well, if played right, is going to do enough work to just provide this global soaking presence to get in the fights when he needs to. And then obviously Diablo, he's this massive front line. You've got Greymane, who's going to really be able to finish off people. I'm going for Candyland. I want to see that Wolf Form Sanctification come out, and I want it to be epic.
Yeah, that could definitely be a possibility. By the way, nice portrait synergy on the side of Candyland. Well played. Already going in straight into the first game with more coordination than their opponents, so that might be in favor for them.
Yep, and I'm just making sure I've got the team names the right way around. We're going to have 5th up, the team on the left, blue team. Yep, looks good. So I've got names up. I can swap them at a dime. So you're going with 5th up. I'm going with Candyland.
Yeah, I think that's the situation right now.
Yeah.
Like with Divine Shields, even though I'm not a huge fan of Uther right now, I know the Koreans are actually, but not so much in EU.
Yeah, so in the meantime, to answer Shaq's question, I have no idea. So yeah, we're going to have the blue team on the left here. They're going to be 5th up. We're going to have Diet on that Vala. Team captain of Glirios playing, I cannot see, he is hidden behind for me. The Jaina. D-Fox playing that Uther. Chimera on that Johanna. And Very Hot finally playing the Thrall.
And on the right side, it is going to be Rogue Bench on Tyrande, Forest on Tyrael, Seagull, McGee on Greymane, Sick and Head on Diablo, and Silver on Falstad. Rocking that Pirate Falstad skin, he's already at the bottom lane. Nice gang push here on the side of Candyland. Not Candyland, I'm sorry. 5th up.
Yeah, so I mean, both teams just kind of being a bit passive, maybe looking to get a gank off, but Candyland actually just went all to their lanes. They didn't care about trying to get an early advantage. They're like, we're just going to separate, split up, play safe, hide behind our walls.
Yeah, we see a nice 4-man rotation on the side of 5th up. We've got Johanna in the middle actually, so she's not rotating with the team, but we've got Jaina, Vala, and Uther trying to gank Falstad. He does manage to barrel roll away on time, so he's not really in that much trouble as long as he stays behind that gate. Johanna might actually be in a lot of trouble. Nope, she's got that Iron skin, so she should be fine in that mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too worried about this Johanna here. Even if she gets caught out by the Diablo, she'll almost certainly be able to just trade her way out of the Tyrande stun. Yeah, she'll probably be fine here. The Thrall versus 2 up in the top lane is going to be a bit awkward for him, as we already see this bottom wall going down in favour of 5th up.
Cho is a really good solo laner. I was wondering who Cho is gonna sit up against, and apparently 2 people. How to counter a really good solo laner? Just put 2 people up against him and it should be fine. I mean, we see Johanna just doing really well in the mid lane right now. We do see 2 people, Tyrande and Falstad in the bottom lane, trying to fight against 3 people right now. Vala, Jaina, and Uther taking 2 towers right now, gonna take the gate as well, so they're definitely doing a lot more work than Greymane and Tyrael are doing at the top lane. Not a single tower taken still, and they're just gonna leave Vala at the bot lane, rotate to middle, maybe try to get a Diablo who's already at half health, and yeah, that looks like it's gonna be a kill, and down goes the Diablo.
Yeah, now, I mean, that taking the entire wall bottom has given them, I mean, it was a half level advantage, but taking that Diablo as well, it's pushed them almost a full level ahead, and Falstad may end up getting ganked here. No. First tribute though, it's going to spawn bottom.
Yeah, it's gonna spawn bottom, and we already see a strong presence on the side of fifth up. We've already got 3 heroes down. Johanna is trying to rotate. Tro is still staying at the top lane, so they could try to just poke around, stall for a little bit. Maybe Tro can get them to level 7 earlier than their opponents. I don't think that's going to be possible unless he starts taking towers very, very quickly. We do see Candyland moving into that bush, just looking for the opportunity. They might... they do know that Tro is a top lane, so it's actually a bit weird that they're not really moving in that aggressively, and there they go.
Yeah,
Great
so
control, actually.
we've got, as you said, it was a 5v4. Thrall staying up there. Forest actually taking a huge amount of damage from the Jaina. Meanwhile, the Diablo's going to get focused down. Is he just going to get right click to the end? Yes, he is. Finally going down as both warriors on the side of Candyland. Just, I don't know, do they get a little bit ahead of themselves? Just not really expecting that damage, that turnaround damage, come out the Vala and the Jaina. At the end of the Trande fell as well. She was caught out without a single warrior to cover her.
Unless Candyland do manage to combo off their abilities in the early game, Fifth definitely do have a lot more damage with that Vala and Jaina. Jaina is just such a great hero, just a lot of damage straight off the bat. And in the meantime, well, the teams were fighting for the tributes. Troll didn't manage to take the entire wall at the top
You got
lane.
both of them, and that's going to put their experience lead to, it was a level and a half, it's now just over a level, and they've got that 7, they've got talent tier ahead, and they're looking like they're going to come first in this race to 10, and at that point, what, you're going to see Fifth up, try and take some really good fights, and they quite potentially will.
Yeah, speaking about poke, it is going to be the Q builds on Vala. That Hungering Arrow is going to have an increased range and is also going to help her sustain through the fight. So they can just send someone on another lane like a Vala is doing right now, and they can just go ahead and fight the tributes. And yes, Vala looks like she does not want to move. She's just going to stay here, clear the camp, and meanwhile, the rest of the teams are just going to go around, hover around the tribute, dance a little bit. And we could see a Ford go down if Fifth Up are maybe willing to give this tribute up as well. We see the entire squad of Candyland just rotating here. Johanna just had to use her Iron Skin very, very early in this fight.
Yeah, so that's down, that's no unstoppable for her, that's no kind of small shield, a little bit of sustain. It means she doesn't have the pseudo-escape that is that. As meanwhile, the fight is starting. Jaina almost getting killed, the overpowered just potentially almost saving her, flipping over the Diablo's head as she just about gets saved by the Johanna's Condemn coming in and just disrupting the team of Candyland, who look like they are going to take their second tribute of the game.
Yeah, very, very good healing on Monster. He gets stunned out and he can fall down. Diablo gonna overpower him, and that is going to be a dead footer and a tribute going over to Candyland. Vala still not being able to take down that fort at the bottom lane, so maybe that exchange wasn't exactly worth it. Right now, Candyland 2 tributes up over their opponents. Not exactly sure how well that's gonna turn out. They are gonna have level 10 for the next tributes most likely. Which means that they are not gonna let their opponents have a curse unless something goes terribly wrong.
Yeah, I mean, Vala took, as you say, a lot of damage off that fort down in bottom, and the fact that Fifth Up took the hard camp meant that it pushed in and took the entire wall in that middle lane. So
yeah,
that's even more experience going their way, even though they lost a couple kills. And look, there's a level 10 any second now in favour of Fifth Up.
Yeah, actually more kills on the side of Fifth Up, even though they've given up 2 tributes so far. The only one falling was Uther. Nice position from Vala. She realized that there were 2 people coming down to bottom to gank her. She managed to get behind her wall on time. Falstad and Greymane wanted to take those towers, but the minion wave was executed quickly enough by Vala to not let that happen. And meanwhile, in the mid lane, Diablo looks like he's gonna be falling. Nice Ring of Frost on the side of Jaina, and that looks like that's gonna be 2 dead heroes on the side of Candyland, which means another tribute gonna go to them as well.
That Ring of Frost was so perfectly placed, and as soon as it landed, the Johanna Blessed Shield came out and stunning out another 2. This is absolutely a tribute going the way of Fifth Up. They're actually just transitioning straight for their boss, take advantage where they can. They're still a level ahead. I would actually like to see them push here and potentially take this fort in mid, then go down and get their boss, as kind of what Candyland would have to lick their wounds kind of at that point. Just try and get that level 10 as they're being pressured from all sides there. Jaina cleaning up that fort in bottom. And this boss probably won't end up doing much, really. It's maybe a questionable boss take.
Well, it is a 7-minute boss, but it is creating a lot of space. That means that yet another boss is probably going to get taken from 5th up here at the top lane, and that means that it is going to be yet another tribute tanker from them. And fortunately enough for them, it is going to be spawning right next to that top boss, but it looks like Candyland might want to contest. There is a rotation. They've already got the level 10s. It is going to be Shadowstock. Judgment, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say Judgment came out. I was about to mention that. I'm really excited to see who their main target is for this. Who their focus is. Potentially the strafing Vala.
Yeah, I mean, they've got Go for the Throat Judgment. A lot of damage coming out on their side. But looks like Falstaff's going to fall. Nice Sundering, nice Strafe. Nice Ring of Frost catching 2 people on the side of Candyland, the 2 tanks. And looks like that's going to be a complete
that clutch
wipe.
Divine Shield. If you look at the Uther's mana, he has absolutely none left. That was literally, oh god, hopefully I get Divine Shield mana soon. He got it right in the nick of time. Put it on the Vala, she didn't die to the Grey Man. It's a 4 for nothing. I mean, the initiation, the Falstaff was falling low, and then that Sundering came out before he could even get his barrel roll off. Mighty Gust didn't come out at all, and well executed by 5th up. It was so good. That Ring of Frost, they've both been perfect, I think, this game. I don't want to oversell them, but both Ring of Frost landing on 2 players so far, and securing those kills.
Very, very, very well executed on the side of Glirios. Yeah, just a lot of practice with those Ring of Frost can bring you 2 kills in the game, so go ahead and try them in try mode. Meanwhile, another tribute is going to be spawning up at the top lane. We do see Candyland defending successfully from the boss. It didn't really do that much. The wall's already gone. It took about more than half of the health on the fort. So
yeah, something like that. And as you say, Gillyroz showing why he's team captain here with those really good positions. Just abilities from his Jaina. Cocktail build from the Greymane. Going to be doing a lot of damage. Falstaff's actually caught out here. The Blessed Shield comes down. He just gets blown up immediately. Judgment on the Jaina, not going to be able to save out the Greymane, who also fell, and that means Tyrael's in a bad spot. He'll end up falling. The throw and go actually going to keep him alive. Meantime, Diablo's going to have to back his way off and leave the Tyrande to die as she does so.
Well, thanks to that Judgment, Tyrael actually did manage to get away from that fight without being able to die, but they don't really care that much about him. Oh, and Diablo's actually going to fall. They just decided to chase him.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch the tail end of that. The Jaina and the Johanna slows plus kind of disruptions. Too much.
Too much, and oh, actually, well, 5th up do have to be a little bit careful. Looks like that is going to be a Gust. No, still no Gust on the side of Falstaff. He's going to get caught in that Ring of Frost, and looks like Jaina is still going to survive. No, she's not. Greymane did manage to catch up to her. And those are 2 kills for Candyland, but they are gonna trade them for 3, so not exactly the best exchange there, especially when they're the ones that are cursed and they are 3 levels behind their opponent right now. Very, very bad situation for them to be in.
And this hard camp in middle, it was just... They took it again at the perfect time. It was just before they went and took the tribute and that 3rd tribute, and then the 3rd boss. It meant they pushed in, it took this fort in middle. And a good Mighty Gust can actually save the Diablo just about in this mid lane. And this hard camp's still alive. Judgment landing in on the Thrall, followed up by the Tyrande. Going to get damage out, but the Divine Shield from Uther is there. He's going to be able to run away quite handily, and this is going to be a full disengage from 5th up.
Yeah, I was going to say that Keep was going to fall, but that was a very, very hard engage. On the side of Candyland, they managed to disengage their opponents. That Keep is down to half health, so whenever they do manage to wipe maybe the entire team, maybe just a few players, they can just move into that mid lane and take that keep. If they do manage to get a team wipe, that is actually their ticket to a win. They can just go through that, then just go straight for call. No bosses up on the map. The one at the bottom lane is going to be up in another 30 seconds. The one in the top lane is going to be up on 2 minutes, so that's going to take some time.
Yeah, so the middle and bottom keeps both pretty low at this point, sub half health. It's going to mean this next push is going to be coming out from 5th up. It's going to be pretty solid here, and going to get a really good Sundering, landing on 4 heroes there. Diablo shadow charging his way in to try and save out his squishy assassins, but that Ring of Frost is there again from the Jaina, landing on 2. Going to have Vala Strafe coming out. Greymane's dying by himself in the middle of 4 enemy heroes. Falstaff's just about to fall to the Johanna, as it did the Diablo. Tyrande, the only survivor, might end up falling to the Thrall here. The Jaina slow is going to come down. Missed route, but Tyrande's still dead.
Yeah, and that looks like that's going to be a good game. Fifth up can just walk through that bottom or middle lane, whichever one they find closest. It is going to be the middle one. They can just go ahead, hit core as hard as they can. The only one to stop them is Diablo, and he's probably not going to be able to do it yet. Another 5 seconds until Tyrell's back, and Greyman as well. Full start up in 5 seconds, but that's not going to be enough. Core already at 50%. Chimera, he's going to get Divine Shield. Greyman actually managing to get a kill on the Vala. All they need to do right now is just hit core. Is sticking on that core as much as he can, and yes, that's going to be a good game, and that's going to be the victory for fifth sub.
Yep, so well played to them. I was wrong, you were right, that's fine, I don't mind. But yeah, no, very, very well executed from them, just the disruption coming out. It was very clean. They ended up winning 21 kills to 5. So yeah, just going to quickly show the talents at the end here so I can see what builds everyone gone. If you want to see that, pause it, watch the VODs. But yeah, I think the Thrall, just his positioning all game was so good, and Glirioz's Ring of Frost, I want to give my MVP to him because I think they were flawless all game. I don't think I've seen Ring of Frost so consistently just good. None of them were outstandingly game-changing,